Hey Daisy Troop Leaders, my name is Katie and I'm the STEAM Center intern for the Girl Scouts Diamonds of Arkansas, Oklahoma, and Texas Council. I'm really excited because I am making a video series for you guys about the Coding Basics badge and how to do different activities with your troop. Coding Basics is the first of 3 in the Coding for Good series where your Girl Scouts will learn all about basic coding concepts, computer scientists, and how they can use coding for good. In this video, I'll just be talking to you guys about how to go through step 1 of the Daisy Coding Basics badge, which in your activity plan from the volunteer toolkit is activity 3, and it's titled Create Algorithms for a Computer That Follow a Sequence. For this activity, in the activity plan, it goes through how to talk about algorithms and code and how your girls will follow an algorithm to make a s'more, which is really great. You can totally make a s'more with your troop. It's delicious and they really probably enjoy s'mores, but I thought that it would also be interesting to learn how to follow an algorithm to make hot chocolate. I think hot chocolate making would be a good example for following an algorithm and would be kind of easy for you to conduct as a troop leader because you can buy hot chocolate like this in bulk and make sure everyone has a cup, a spoon, and some hot water or hot milk depending on your preferences. So basically, I will just be kind of talking through your introduction and how you'll provide a few examples to your girls about algorithms to get their conversation flowing, and then we'll go into the actual activity of making the hot chocolate. This step is really important to start with a conversation about computers with, because this is probably your Daisy's first time hearing about algorithms and coding. So you want to definitely kind of ease them into it and get them thinking about computers and how they use them. So you can start by asking questions like, what are your favorite things to do on a computer? What have you been doing recently on your computers, and what kind of technology in your house do you use as well? It could be a washing machine, vacuum cleaner, radios, phones, anything like that. They'll have examples to share with you about how they use technology in their life, and you can kind of just get them on the right foot that, hey, we're all using computers. Computers are really great. But that is when you will kind of pivot the conversation and say that computers are really smart and they do all these things for us, but they actually don't do the thinking for themselves. They have to be programmed by a computer scientist. And that is when you will introduce the first term, code, to them. Just mention that, yeah, they don't think for themselves. They have to be programmed by a computer scientist who will use a special language called code to communicate with the computer. So all that is happening here is you're telling your girls that a computer scientist tells a computer what to do for us so that we can use it however we want to get something done. So by using this special language that computers use called code, not English, computer scientists will make a list of steps for a computer to complete in a certain order, which is an algorithm. An algorithm is a list of steps for a computer to follow at a given time. So an algorithm to delete a picture off your computer, or for a robot to go around your room and vacuum for you, those are all things that they are programmed to do by using algorithms that a computer scientist has given to the computer. So at this time, you've introduced 3 new terms to your Daisies: computer scientists, code, and algorithms. So give them a chance to speak on these words and explain them in their own words to the group, so that you can kind of do a little knowledge check with them to see that everyone is kind of on the same pace and following what you're telling them. So something that I like to do is I just have somebody raise their hand and say, can you explain algorithms to the group? And that is when a girl can stand up and have the opportunity to explain in her own words how an algorithm works and what she thinks an algorithm is. This way you can kind of check to make sure that she is understanding you and that everyone can have a different explanation coming from that Daisy that might help them understand a little bit better too. So something you can say to your brownies that will make them feel like computer scientists is tell them that they are already using algorithms every single day. Like, for example, the way that they get ready for school is usually in a list of steps or a routine that they follow to achieve their task of being ready for school and getting out the door in the morning. As your girls are calling out the steps that they might follow, so draw them on your piece of paper or whiteboard in the order that they call them out. In this case, you want to be reinforcing the idea that sometimes, oftentimes, the sequence or the order that they are doing these steps matters. For example, you don't put on your shoes before you put on your socks, that type of thing. So use the examples that they're giving you, that you're writing out, to talk about the importance of, oh, you should probably, do this step before this step and this step before this step. And explain to them that a computer will do exactly what you are telling it to do in the order that you tell it to do it. So that is why we need to understand that the sequence in which an algorithm is written in is really important because it changes the way that the computer will do something for us. Now you can introduce your activity. Like I said before, the activity plan from the volunteer toolkit uses the example of following a recipe to make s'mores in your meeting with your daisies, but I am going to use some hot chocolate to show you guys just kind of how to break down following an algorithm. Making hot chocolate with Swiss Miss might seem really simple, but there's actually way more steps than you would initially think. You're just like, oh, well, making Swiss Miss is really easy. You just put the water in the cup and stir it with the mix, and boom, you have hot chocolate. But what your daisies need to understand is the order in which they do these steps and how they will be able to explain it to somebody else is really important, and understand the importance of an algorithm and how they'll follow one every day. So tell your girls it's time to follow an algorithm to make hot chocolate together. A recipe is a great example of an algorithm because it is a list of steps that you have to follow in order to complete a task, which in this case is hot chocolate. So we are going to start and help them kind of break it down in those specific steps so that they understand that they are following an algorithm in a certain order to get their task achieved. So first thing you're going to do is have everyone get their cups. You can use plastic styrofoam cups, whatever you need for your group that you're working with. And the first step that you'll do is put your cup in front of you and put 2 scoops or 2 spoonfuls of Swiss Miss into the cup. Okay, and next you will pour 1 cup of water into your mug or into your styrofoam cup. Next up, you will stir your hot chocolate until it is until it's all blended, so you don't have any lumps. And then if you want to add more steps, such as adding milk or whipped cream or marshmallows even, those can be your next few steps, and you can lay it out for them in whatever order makes sense for your meeting. So after your list of steps is complete and your girls have their yummy hot chocolate, you can just kind of debrief with them and ask them, oh my gosh, what did you learn about algorithms today, and where you see algorithms in your everyday life? And wait for them to give you examples like, I follow a list of steps to get ready for bed. I follow a list of steps to make myself a sandwich, those type of things. So these are all ways that they are using algorithms in their everyday life. So just lead them on a discussion through that. Ask them about other things that they want to learn about computers or what they want to learn about computer science. This will give them time to kind of open their ideas, open up their imagination to what they are interested in next as you go through the rest of the batch. I hope you guys had a lot of fun following your algorithm to make hot chocolate or s'mores or another recipe that you guys might have done that your troop really enjoys. A lot of recipes will work for this activity. Next up is the activity 4, Learn About Women in Computer Science, where your girls will be learning about Ada Lovelace.